Alright, in this video we're going to tackle rounding decimals, which can be tricky at times. Okay, rounding numbers and rounding decimals in particular follows a pretty standard set of rules. You're going to underline the place value to be rounded and circle the place number to the right. And then according to that circled number, if it's 5 or higher, you're going to increase the underlined number by 1. But if the number is 4 or less, the underlined number stays the same. And that's often called rounding down, but we really don't change the number to 1 less, we keep it the same. And then when you're done changing your number or leaving it the same, you drop all the numbers to the right. So let's take a look at an example. We have the number 3.2507. So 3.2507. And the first part says round to the nearest tenth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to underline the tenths place, which is the first decimal place after the decimal point. And I'm going to circle that number that comes after it, and in this case it's a 5. And if we remember, 5 or higher makes us round up. So this number is going to increase by 1. So we're going to have 3.3, and then we drop everything after that after we've done our rounding, so this is that number rounded to the nearest tenth. Now if we take that same number, 3.2507, and we round to the nearest hundredth, well, we underline the hundredths place, which is the 5. We look at the number that comes after it to the right, and that's a 0. Well, that's 4 or less, so we're going to keep 5 the same, and so rounding this to the nearest hundredth would be 3.25, and that is it. You drop everything after the 5. Another example would be 4.0399, and we're being asked to round to the nearest tenth, so if I start there, 4.0399, I'm going to underline the tenths place, which in this case is a 0. The number that comes after it is a 3, which is 4 or less, so that's going to make this number underlined stay the same. So our rounded to the nearest tenth would be 4.0. because we drop everything after that 0 off. Okay, now if we round to the nearest thousandth, we'd have 4.0399, but we need to find the thousandths place. Well, tenths, hundredths, thousandths would be the third one over. And this one's a little tricky because if you circle the 9 after it, well, that's going to make that 9 go up 1. Well, if the 9 goes up 1, what does it actually go to? Well, it goes to a 10. But we can't write 10 like this. We'd make that 1 join the place value in front. So in turn, that's going to become a 4. The 9 goes to the 1's place in the 10, which is a 0. So our final answer here, rounded to the nearest thousands, would be 4.040. That one's a little tricky.